Alright, welcome back again, and this is continuation of what we've started on data analysis, and we are still on Excel. In subsequent way we'll be showing much approach on Excel, while we also blend it with our focus on SPSS as we progress with the data analysis class. However, for today we are dealing with one research data that was gathered by research students in education sector, looking into our instructional approach has helped the teacher and has helped the leadership in that school and the regard. No need to bother much with much of the statement that was all the research was all about. We just want to do just descriptive and inferential analysis for this data set. But majorly we'll be focusing on one of the descriptive, just to show what is the opinion of people towards this in terms of quantitative data. Like we can all see from the screen, we have a lot of options that was there. Like we have the demographic factors, like demographic identity in terms of the gender, the educational qualification. We have the employment role in terms of being a teacher or a principal. We have the years of experience in teaching or as a leaders. We have different level of instruction that was stated here, and these are what we'll be using to explain and to do the analysis proper. However, the analysis over here will not be carried out on Excel. This research was meant to be on SPSS. That's why we'll use this one to explain things together. But let's see how things can also unfold on Excel. Okay, let me quickly use this one to explain to you. I just want to check some of the data as regard. Let me use this one to explain this on Excel. I want to check some of the data as regard the number of turning that we have for most of this response that we are seeing over here, based on the two categories that we majorly have, which is male gender and female gender. However, before we start, like I always said, our data analysis is in 5 different levels. First, we are looking for we have to search for the problem that we want to address, knowing the problem, getting information around, making decision on what our focus want to be in solving the problem. Another one is we gather data, and after gathering data we clean the data. So the next thing that we want to do now is to clean the data, to check all those ones that are void. I can see like 2, there's one here, there's another one here. So removing those empty space, like you can see over here and even over here, and after then we'll now analyze the data and we can now present the data results. Before we now move to SPSS to load this data, let's first clean the data and let's check some of the parameters that we can use for a short analysis of what is entails over here. For example, now I don't need the timestamp. Let me quickly remove that. Also, this consent based on those people that agree to do the research. However, because most people that does not consent to do the research over here, the data will be void over here, so I don't need it. So probably in this case also I don't need this consent, because the total number after cleaning this will determine the number of people that consent to carry out the research. So I'll be deleting this in conjunction with this. I'm holding the two side by holding command on Mac, but you can use that one by holding your control on your window laptop. So I will delete this. So now technically this one is telling us that we have 105 respondents that gave the data based on this, as you can see over here. So this place is getting void. I don't know why the data is not coming over here, but let me just assume this is this, this is this. Although basically we just have to record them as empty if we want to follow the straight data, but just to avoid that one for now, that's why I'm filling up that gap. So I think we are good to go on this. So next, go to your insert and go to your pivot table. So let's insert the pivot table again, starting from the first one, because Okay, this is supposed to be the first. Okay, obviously. So you can click on new sheet. Yeah, I can see on my variable all the feed I have for my variable over here now I can deal with. So you can see over here we have varieties in terms of filter, we have the column, we have the row, and we have the value. So just for us to check some of the entities that we have entered in our data. For example, now if I want to check the amount of gender that are shown that have filled this form in terms of the male and female gender that we have over here, I can check this button to bring the gender. I can drag the gender to the row over here, so that I will have it as male and female. As you can see over here, I will have it as male and female, and you can see the count of the gender. We have it 56 female and 49 male. Similarly, though for this entry we cannot do other parameters, but let me just use that one to show us. By clicking on this like further information button that is over here, you can change the varieties of what you want the pivot tables feed to show. For example, you can have your sum, you can have your count, you can have your average, maximum, minimum, product, count, number, and the likes. So that depends on the parameter that are doing over here. But this one is just how do I want to put it? This is just a two-way observation in terms of the male and female. So you carrying out the sum might not be giving a valid answer. You can see that it's 0 because it's only female. Every entry is female. Every entry, some of the entry is male. So you might not be able to get the data for that one. And if you are doing average, that does not work for this. But when we have numbers that are not consistent, probably varieties of number that we have in our system, we can use those other option that we have for it. This minimum and maximum will also work here because this is not dealing with range of number as that regard. So let's just leave this one as count to show the number of gender. And don't forget, this kind of analysis that we are showing over here is what we refer to as variate analysis. This analysis is to show one of our variable. What is our information, the data we gather stating about one of the variable. And we have bivariate analysis also, which is relationship of one to another one. Probably we are comparing the gender, as the case may be. We are comparing probably the gender to the education qualification, or we are comparing the genders to the employment role, or we are comparing the education roles to the years of experience or employment role. That is when we are talking of bivariate analysis. But for univariate analysis, we are talking of just analysis for one of the elements, like we have over here. And we can depict this graphically by just going to our insert. And let me say, for this we can also go for a column, this bar chart over here, this column chart over here. So like we see over here, we can see the population in terms of female compares to male, and we can see that we have more female that fill this form compares to that of male. So we can act more on this by editing some of this by just saying gender statistics. Let me just call it this stick and the likes. We can also go up over here and make some adjustment to our table in terms of how our table show. We can add more to it by adding the title from the primary horizontal, which is the base, and we can also add to our vertical side something like this. We can call this one, can call this horizontal part the gender, and we can call this one is, basically needs to label this, verify that this data is not mobile. We can call it number of gender anyhow. So we can, there's a lot that we can relate over here that you can swap between just to show how it looks like, and you can make some adjustments. But basically I will leave this way. So we can also check for others like we've done. So let's go back to over there, and here let me insert the pivot table, but now I'll be limiting it to what I only need. So I will still be putting in existing worksheet that we have over there. That's what I'll be putting in. So I can go over there to select, let me put it over here, and let me go back. So let me select the range. So now I want to check the employment. Let me check this education and employment row with the year of experience, these three together. Or let me check all the four together, or the demographic identity of the respondents. So we can have this over here. That is the 4 at that left hand. So I want to base my classification based on the gender on the row, and over there let me check the educational qualification of them. So we can see based on count we have it for educational qualification. This is the amount of people that fill this. However, I want to check it based on each of the educational parameters that was put over here, based on probably the person is BNG, the person is O level and the like. So I'll bring this one under rules just to check it. So you can see the statistics over here that for the female we have it as this, and male we also have it like this way, and you can see varieties of individuals that are picked over there. Okay, so in our subsequent classes I'll be explaining this pivot table very better. I just want us to have a preamble of how it looks like, so we can just quickly use it to quickly do summary analysis in terms of statistical analysis for descriptive analysis for our data, just to preview how the data looks like to one another, and that one can make us to inform some decision as regard our research. So in our subsequent classes this will be explained in proper details.